want to welcome everybody again. Hope everybody's having a great day. And for myself up here in Michigan, this is a first week of school for a lot of the kids. So I am looking forward to next week in the trading. So let's get right into this. How to plunder the pre-market with the London swing trade. My name is Ted Posobiec. Go ahead, take a look at the disclaimer here. I am not a financial advisor. I am a full-time day trader. So in saying that, there is risk in trading money, so don't trade money that you can't afford to lose. I'm sure you've seen this disclaimer several times, and you're fully aware of it right now. So let's go ahead. Are you unable to trade during normal market hours? Millions of people would love to trade the market but can't, usually because of a 9-to-5 job or some other reason that keeps them from trading during prime hours. If that sounds like you, then stick around because I'm going to teach you one of my most reliable pre-market trades. You'll be able to actually do this tomorrow. But first, let's talk about the biggest obstacle most traders face during the pre-market hours. Volume is much lighter during the pre-market. That can be difficult to identify a commitment from buyers and sellers. I'm sure everybody's that has looked at the charts early in the morning or prior to the market opening. You can see that light volume. That can be a little bit of a problem there, but I've found a way to, and I use it. Actually, I did a little bit today, and we'll show you that here shortly. Most traders waste their time searching where to look for a good pre-market trades. What you really need to know is when to look, and that's what I'm going to teach you today, when to look. I've discovered that best pre-market trade setups are based on the London Open, which starts at 8 a.m. London time, which is 3 a.m. Eastern and here in the U.S. All my times are in Eastern time. Don't worry, you don't have to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning or wherever you are. I don't. I'm hardly ever up at 3 a.m., but when I do get up, it's usually around 6 or so, and I start drawing support resistance lines on my charts based on the London Open. There are occasions I will get up at 2:30 just to put some trades in, but it's not very often. These levels are extremely reliable because traders from around the world participate in the London Open every day. The second part of this trade is to identify the swing trades that happen at the support and resistance levels. Put the two things together, reliable price levels created between the start of the London Open and before the U.S. market opens. And easy to identify swing trades that happen at these levels. And now you have all the ingredients you'll need for a reliable setup that I call the London Swing. I'll show you a bunch of examples here in a minute, but first, who am I and why should you care what I have to say? Let me introduce myself in case you don't already know me. My name is Ted Posobiec, and I'm just a regular guy like anyone else. I was a commercial diver for 20 years. That's actually me at the bottom, establishing a downline there. ROV that we've finally got used to working with. Thought he'd be funny trying to get a good shot like that. It was, I remember those days and loved them, but glad that I'm not doing it anymore. I like to ride motorcycles, as you can see. I also have been trading stocks for almost 18 years. Most importantly, I love the lifestyle that comes with being a day trader. Before trading, like what I'm doing now, I used to work 10 to 12 hours a day. A lot of that was 10 hours minimum on the beach and 12 hours minimum offshore. Those hours were at the minimum. I could be working 14, 18, 20-hour days while offshore. Today, my idea of full-time is 2 to 3 hours a day, and I get to focus on what's important in my life. I also host the E-mini Insider Trading Room at WINvesting Monday through Friday from 8:15 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Here's what one of my students had to say about me. Ted Posobiec is a phenomenal trader and coach. He is truly driven to help his students achieve their personal goals. I was treading water with my trading a long time, taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But Ted has helped me turn that around by building on solid fundamentals. It's pretty amazing how quickly an account can grow when you're consistently profitable. On the last 20 trading days, I've had 2 losers, 2 break-even days, and 16 winners. My account is up over 50% in 30 days simply by cracking out base hits. Pretty exciting. Wouldn't have happened without Ted's help. That's from Rick R. from Wisconsin. It's enough about me. So let's get back to the London swing, and I'll show you how this trade will help you plunder the pre-market. I'll trade this setup anytime after 3 a.m. Eastern time up until the U.S. market opens. The times I have are 8:20. That would be for gold, 9 o'clock CL, and anything else 9:30, ES, YM, and Q. That would go on to 9:30. So this time here, I'll start it looking back from 3 o'clock all the way up to 8:20, 9, and 9:30. All-time references, again, in this presentation are U.S. Eastern Standard Time, the New York time. Here's what you'll learn today. What is the London swing setup? Which markets I trade using this setup? How to know which swings are important and which ones you should ignore. We'll go over one of my favorite charts, how to master this trade in Market Replay. London swing setup. The setup before the U.S. market, like I said, metals and interest rates open at 8:20. That's what we're using for our open, 8:20 for metals and interest rates. Energies, we'll use the open of 9 o'clock. Equities at 9:30. I'll start looking back early in the morning. We're going to go take a look at some charts here on the slides, and then we're going to go through and do chart for today. I've got CL up. We've got a couple other ones here that we're going to do. You don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. For this trade. Like I said, you can if you want, but I don't do it. If I do it, it's very few and far between. If you want to start trading at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or 7 a.m., that's fine. These times here are really good. I know some people would get up that have to go to work. They could probably take a look at it between 5 and 6 before they have to head off to work, or any of the other times, or if you're getting off from work. I mark the highs and lows of the market between beginning at 3 a.m. Eastern, even if I don't start trading until 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning. I look back and add additional highs and low levels after pullbacks. We'll get into that. Get a pen and paper, take a look at that. This is being recorded. You'll be able to go back over it again. So here we have a chart of CL. I do have it on a 450 tick chart. I like using tick charts for this particular setup. It can be used on a 5-minute, maybe even a 15-minute. You'll have less noise using the 15-minute chart. 5-minute does work fairly well. Sometimes I might even be looking at a 1 minute thinking that it is a London swing setup coming in, and I'll even take it off a 1 minute chart as long as everything is lined up. What the indicators I have on this particular chart is a London swing indicator that I had made for marking the 3 o'clock. It starts at 3 o'clock and it continues on till whatever market is. This one here would stop at 9 o'clock, and then it starts up another one from 9 to 4:30. I do have a 50 EMA on here. I do like using a 9 EMA, 21 EMA, and a 50. So some of my charts will have it, some of my charts don't. If you do have it on there, you can use that also as your confirmation on it. So here's where I have, this is actually the time that I would have gotten up, the computer's on, ready to start looking back. So this line here just giving me a line to let me know that this is where I'm starting, so I'm going to start looking back to the left. And I start drawing in my lines. Here's my initial push up. I get a pullback, so I can put this line in that we have right here. That's my high. The market came down, pushed down, then I can wait for a green candle pullback, which we have right here, and I'll place my second line in here. So I have a high and I have a low. Does everybody follow me so far right here? Yep, thanks, Eve. We have another push down, and again, we're starting here, so I'm going to just keep going back. Every time I get a push down with a green candle, I'll place another line, as you can see here. There is another one here. I'll take a look at it. If it's too close together, I don't want to have a whole bunch of lines in, so I'll determine which one is the better one. Looking at this chart now, I'd probably bring this one down here, just a little bit lower than this previous one right here. Why? Because we have support right here on this particular line here. After the London market opens, this trade may set up very quickly, 5 minutes, or it could take a few hours to set up. Sometimes these right at 3 o'clock, you'll see some of your charts. If you go back, you can see setups actually happening within 5 minutes. But that's why I don't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch for these trades, because I know when I get up, I'll see if there's a setup at that particular time. No need to get up at 3 a.m. just to put a couple of lines on and wait. What I do have for the chart setup is we use a chart session template of 24/7. Here's what the chart setting looks like on NinjaTrader. This does not have to be done just on NinjaTrader. You can trade this particular style on any charting platform. But I do run it on a 24/7. One of the other trade setups that I had, I was starting that on a session template for that particular market. So it would not open until 9 o'clock, 8:20, or 9:30. But this chart here, all my charts now are running on a 24/7 chart setup. I like my charts clean, so I'll be using the following indicators that to me are a must: a tick counter and a toolbar shortcut. Let's bring here's a particular chart. This is NQ. The toolbar shortcut I have is right here. I have a tick counter. This one here does have a 9, 21, and 50 EMA on it. But overall, that chart is pretty clean. This blue line here is the London swing line, and this other line here, it runs into the next trade setup on this particular chart. That would be a 610 trade. 610 does not just mean that it's a 610 tick chart, but that's what it is. So let's take a look at some charts. And I'll hit escape here, CL. I did take some trades this morning, not too many. I wasn't going for a lot. Did get distracted this morning. I got up right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this and look at the chart here. This here's 3 a.m. right here. I'll use my crosshairs because I need that. The initial drive was to the downside. So I'll come in and lay a line here. And I like to put a dash dot just to let me know that that is the low. That line will not change, and I want to keep that there pretty much all day long. And for the high side here, I'm going to add this one in, and I like leaving that one at the dash. So what I'm looking at right here is if I'm up here, I have a line here and a line down here. What I want to see is when price for this to take a short, I know where my short's going to be. I'm going to have a short set up here, and I'm going to have a long set up right here. But things that I need to happen that come out first is I need price to close below this line here, and it does. This candle closes below it. Closes below it. Then I want it to close above it, and anytime up here it closes above it. So up until I think around 9 o'clock, just before 9 o'clock, I had a short setting up right here. That short was sitting out there waiting for that to come down. When I got up and was looking at this here, I seen this pop up. So we have for the tops, the upside here, I needed a close above it. I got my close below it. So it wasn't until 6:30, 6:33, I put a trade in right here. I was only going for 3 ticks. And I got my 3 ticks. Waited a little bit, 5 tick, stop. There was a reason why I'm using 3 ticks now a lot, just because it's the end of August, 1st of September. I decided to go with 1 contract for 2 weeks now, and I'll run 1 contract. If I can get 3 ticks, that's good. If I see another level, I could have put a level, an order up here to get a little more, but I'm good with 3 ticks right now. Later on in the day, I'll spread that out. But we had a win here with this setup. Can anybody tell me if there was a setup here with what we know already for a long setup? Let me get rid of the arrows. Once the price came in here, we had a close above it, close back below it, order in. That went up 2 ticks on that one there. And I would have been taken out. Could have gotten back in it and got the price. I'm coming in 1 tick above, 1 tick below. My shorts would be here. And I can fade these levels here also. Does that make sense? Steve, nice seeing you. I know you know it makes sense. This one was a good run coming to the upside. With this, we had the push up, pull back, lines in. Now we have the close above it, wait for the close below it. It doesn't close below it. In my rules, I still have it written in my rules that I cannot take the trade unless it closes below the line. In other, when I'm done with a certain area or I'm done for the day, I have been going back and checking and actually taking trades as they bounce on the line. Eventually, I am going to put that rule into my set of rules to trade, but until I have in writing saying that I can do that, I will not take that trade just on the bounce. And take a look at it for yourself. You make the determination whether you want it to close below or you're willing to take the bounce back to the line, just a pullback. Three ticks is $30. Figure $5 on a trade. I get what you're saying, Fred. I'm not trying to make $1 million here. I am not trying to make $1 million. All I want to make is $200, $300, $400. My daily goal is $400. And there's guys in the room here right now that know that I can make $300 or $200 using 3 ticks within the time that I'm in the room. On singles, 1 contract. It can be done. It's patience. I'll do it all day long. I'm not here to make to blow smoke. If you can't make 3 ticks consistently, day in, day out, what makes you think you're going to make 50 or 100? Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. In saying the 3 ticks, I can also go and make 20 ticks, but I'm not going to do that right off the bat, not right on a first whim here. This trade here, if you could have stayed in, there's 11 ticks. If you stayed in there, if you let it go, there's 24. My stops are normally 5 to 7, but as soon as I get into the trade, I tighten it up as soon as possible. So if it goes 3 ticks, the reason why I went with 3 ticks, I was trading down in Louisiana a week ago for 2 weeks. And I was having a real hard time getting even 3 ticks to fill. I mean, it would sit on it, hit it 2, 3 times, 4 times, and I wasn't getting a fill. So I couldn't even get 5 ticks. So that's why I brought it down to 3. Start out slow, get the base hits, then you can go for the home runs. The trade setups will get you to where you can get on base, and then once you're on base, you hit that home run, and it's a great feeling. So if you think you're going to try to, this is coming out to give you $1 million or give you anything with 3 ticks at 3 contracts or 4 contracts, you can start adding them up. But I'm not doing that personally. I'm not doing that until after a week and a half into September. Then I'm going to start going back to 2 contracts and then go on from there. Yes, I do trade this in my live account, and I've got other people that are trading it also. And you can see with the CL here, I haven't looked at it too much today, doing some unpacking. But we're bringing these up. Once the setup is easy. We get a pullback here. We get a high. You get a pullback. I get a close above. I get a close below. My entries one to two ticks above this particular line, and it goes up. I can use these lines here for support, or it's a breakout. What it basically is a breakout with a pullback. I'm not going to set a trade way up here for a breakout. I want to see a commitment. We've got a commitment. Prices below, our prices above the 50 EMA. Yes, I do reset my levels at 9 o'clock when the pit opens. Let's go to that. Right here is where the pit opens. I'll start resetting it. But you can still use the, depending on where price at, you can still use these levels going into the open. You can continue this all the way to the end of the day if you would like. I prefer to start over once the market's open. I'd still like to keep the high and the low of that first initial drive, and I also have the high, the overall high and the overall low, because I'll fade these levels also. Have you ever traded support resistance, breakout trades? Let's take a look at gold. I have not had gold up at all. Now this one here is going to be a little off. Maybe I've got to, did I make a chart this morning? We'll just go with here. This here would be slid to 820. Go over the rules again. And 0.0. When I come in on gold, I may have it at a 610 or I may drop it. It just depends on what I'm seeing from here to here. Normally I do not go over a 610 chart, but I will come down all the way down to a 233. So with gold here, bring it right to here. We have an initial drive to the upside, and I get my pullback. So I'm going to place my first line here. And again, like I say, I like to have the dash line here, so that just lets me know that where I'm at. If I'm above this line or getting close to the line, I know that let me know that this is the long side of it. And gold here for the short, that pushes down. It has to break below the first line. Yeah, sometimes something that is so simple is just way beyond other people on what they can think of, what will work and what won't work. I know what works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. So we have the push down here. What happens before I can place this line, this candle that's pushing down has to break the low of that initial push candle in either direction. So if this was a red candle down, the green candle would have to break the high of this initial push, which would be that second candle, because it keeps going up until I get a red candle. It's got to keep going down. Once I get a green pullback and I see that the green, the initial push is been broken, and I get a pullback, I can place my line in here. I can see this one here at around 440. It did not work for a setup. Setup did not work. We have the push down. It closed below it, pulled back up, closed above it. I would have gotten in right here. That one did not work. Did this one. 2 ticks, 4 ticks. If you didn't get slipped, you probably would have gotten filled for your 3. And that's just looking at it for this morning. And right now I'm only going for 3. That's not what I normally do. But with the time, August being historically, from what I've kept track of, has not been my best trading month. So I'm going to take whatever I can and be happy with what I get. This trade here, coming up to 820, this one here did work. Everything lined up. From here, we had a close above it. We had a close below it. In 1 tick, above 1 to 2 ticks, and would have gotten my target. That looks like it would have hit both a 3 and a 5 tick target for that time of the morning. That went 8 ticks. Now sometimes when these run and you get into them, you can get 10, 20 ticks. Just depends on how well you are at holding a trade. And I'm really impatient. I want it to go, and I want it to go now. The only lines that are automated are the open from here. This blue line, that's automated. I have that set up on a London swing indicator that I use. All of these other lines I put in. Now you can see this is getting too crowded for me. I'm going to go over something here. If price is going up, I'm not going to put a bunch of lines down here until I see price coming back down here, because I've got this blue line here letting me know that it is the low of the 3 o'clock session or London swing session, and I've got a high here. But there are times when I'll come in. Let's look at it on a 233 tick chart. That just might get me too many areas to put in. 233. What I'll do is I'll start moving the lines that I have in up to where price is at. That didn't work. Oh, that's 233 minute, 233 tick. There we go. Use this for an example. Might be a little hard to see. Okay, we have that push there. The same push for the downside is good. We have a push here and one right there. Here's where I want to go, is where it's starting to get quite a bit. I normally wouldn't put this one in. It's too close here. I just bring the one up here and then head up. No, that's not working. If I start having too many lines on, let's say they were like this, coming in, I'll start eliminating them. And then wherever price is at, like say if price was up here, we might find it on NQ. We'll take a look at that. And I'll just start bringing them from the bottom here up. This is the area, the high and the low is the areas that I'm more concerned about, along with this, the initial push up and the initial push down. I like these two areas the best, and anytime we get a push up, but at this time right here, I'm more interested in this long right here. I'd be interested in this short here. Only because this one is already done. Not saying that I wouldn't take it. I would, my rules say I can take any of these, but I'm looking at this one here. This is tried to break out here, come down, but there's another thing here, and everybody probably knows about double top, double bottom. You can take that as a reversal also. just something that you can put into your bag of tricks there. The MA here being flat here, Donna, that's a 50 EMA. With this here being flat here, I'd probably stay away from anything here until we get a trend. I want to see a trend. I like trading, personally I like trading with the trend. I don't always trade with the trend because there are counter trend trades. But with that EMA showing as it is right now, I probably would stay away from it. Let's go back, clear the chart. I want to see what happened yesterday. The red line and the green line here, that goes into the London swing. Our initial push up. And we have a drive down here. Follow along with me. Write it down. I have a push, looking for the initial push up or down, doesn't matter. Once, if I have a push up, I'm going to wait for a pullback. Once I have a red candle close below the high of the green candle, I'm going to place a line. Then I wait for a close above the line, wait for a close back below the line. This is actually the one that does it right here. I'm going to put a order in 1 to 2 ticks above the line of this line that's drawn in. And then I'm going to wait for the tick. See the flatness here and the sideways move? I might even just go either pull the trade, but I wouldn't know that until over here. Or if I start seeing it flatten out, actually this is telling me that it's coming up here. I would have seen this, that it's curving. I'd really seriously think about pulling a trade, even getting out of break even, if it didn't get my 3 ticks to begin with. It did go 4, so 3 would have gotten it yesterday. Push up, get my pull back down below the line, and then place the order. This one here, that's a green line, so that's green. This short here, I do have the push up. Now I need to have a close below the line, back up, and my order is placed in 1 to 2 ticks below that line. This one here did work again. Lost this one, worked on this one. Now we've got the close below the line, wait for a pullback above it. If it keeps going down, then I'm going to add another line down here. I don't know how to make it any clearer. You have your push down, pull back. Now this one here, price is coming back up to this area here. I'd be waiting for it to close back above the line here and then looking for a short. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Sometimes you just have to wait. My next short will be down here, but the thing is it doesn't it hasn't happened. So I'm not trading this at all. At this time here, I just have it up to the side, looking at it, looking at some of my other charts, minute charts with volume spike trades. I'll always have something. Take a look at the NQ here. Usually this is a little slower along with ES, NQ, but if you have, yes, double tops, double bottoms are most common for reversals. I do know this. That's why I'm looking for the pullback to continue down. If you were looking at it as a, I don't want to get into that because that's part of this particular trade. This double bottom here, I don't want to go short off from it until I see that it's going to commit to the downside. Not saying that I wouldn't take that to the others going up. Anthony, I don't think with what your questions that you're asking, it would be worth anything anyway to you, really. Usually I'm trading from the time I get up to 10 o'clock, I'll trade 2 contracts. And then after 10 o'clock, 10:15 going on, I'll trade anywhere from 2 to 6. It just depends on the day, depends on how much I've made or how much I've trying to make up. You're right, Anthony. It's not going to matter to you. And then at 9 o'clock, actually this here being GC, this would start over at, I'd start looking at the 610 trade setup from 8:20 on. But you can run this all the way through from 3 o'clock all the way to 4 if you'd like. Just remember, once you hit a new high, hit a new low, those are the areas that I'd be looking for on those particular trades. I do not have market replay set up on this. Well, if you're running a market replay, when you go do a market replay, take a look at it in real time. Don't fast forward it unless you're going to fast forward it to the time where you're going to start, because what it does is it gives you a false sense of how fast the market is going to actually move in the morning, and it's really not. It doesn't move that fast. There are some days that it really does a nice job. London, the 610 trades working pretty good today on GC. Like I say, let's bring the NQ over. Most of the time I'm using gold and CL in the morning. I have taken NQ, YM. Occasionally I'll take a ES trade, but it's usually when the market is running pretty fast. And I still like using the 610 on all of these charts, but like I say, I will bring them down as low as 233. So you're 3 o'clock open, and I have a high here, and I have a low down here. And we also have one right here. So first thing I'm doing right here, looking, this is 10 o'clock already. This one here could run all day. Might have been looking at it, you probably could have went down to a even like a 450. I didn't like seeing all of the 10 o'clock to see what happened. So we have that 450 looks the same. If you're looking at any of the other markets like NQ, YM, ES, if you don't see anything in your time frame, then you'd be looking for a market that's actually moving where you can actually get into a trade. Yeah, I have never done that before, but I'll take a look at it on a, what time frame do you want to look at? Why is that doing that? Let's go to data series, candlestick, 5 or 10. All right. Give me a minute here, 5 minute, and I need to change this. So we can see the candles. Must have been one time I had them candles on and saved that as a template. There we go. Let's change this to CL. I have never done this, looked at this on a minute chart in front of anybody before. This would be the first time I've done this. TJ, John asked for this. Be more than happy to do it. I do know that I have had it up on charts while I'm trading, and I do know it. So your 5 minute candle, your initial push for 5 minute, you start using this candle here, and it keeps going down. So we're good here. So we have a push down, and that would stop right here. And I would still use my high and low areas here. And I have a push up. And the rules would still, it wouldn't change. I would not change the rules on this. We have the initial push down with the pullback, so I lay the line in. Price is going up. So we have price going up with the pullback. Then I wait for price to close above the line, and it closes above way up here. And I can add lines in here every time I get a pullback. I would not use this one. When we get a pullback, closes below the line. Let me get across here. I want to see if that is actually closing below it or right on it. 82. It closed at 82. Looks like it's all closed at 82. I personally wouldn't have a trade here. Because of my rules, I wouldn't have a trade there. On the 610 chart, it did have a close there. So that would have been a trade for me. The white line, this chart here has 9 EMA, 21 EMA, and a 50. I do have a trade that I like, crossover pullback, and using it in conjunction with this just helps me with the trend. Maybe looking at the 5 minute chart here would be a good good setup for it just to come back, just as long as you get the pullback to the line. Let's look at it on a 3 minute, or 10 minute, you said. A low is going to be a low and a high is going to be a high, but the close will be a little different. Here at 1050, that's two. It still didn't do it on a 10-minute chart. That's one of the reasons why I like the tick chart personally. But if you set it up, you got to write your own set of rules. You can use mine as a guideline, and once you do your own back test it, look at it, do trade in it in simulation. If that particular trade, I do like the trade, I just have to write it up. Until I write it up in my set of rules, I have to wait for the close. You do not define your exact entry and stop. You do not. My exact entry for this trade, I got to find one that is there. We have some here. Push above, closes below. My exact entry, 1 tick above the line. I could go 2. My stop is no more than 7 ticks. I do not use more than a 7-tick stop. Most of the time it's 5. And right now I'm using a 5-tick stop with a 3-tick target. Only 1. That's I'm being honest with you. That's all I'm using this week. I've used it last week and the week before, and I will use it all of this week going into part of next week until I start going up, until I start seeing the market coming back to where I want to see it. Yep. If this is a 10-minute chart, look at it, take a look at it at your own. You got the rules, set them up there, take a look at it, see if it's going to work for you on the pulling back to the support resistance line yourself. I don't mind it. I do have one guy that does trade it. His rules are pulling back. Russ trades it that way. Has everybody got the idea of the initial push? So you don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to take the trade. Okay. The explanation of a London swing short. Here we have the London Open. The initial drive is to the downside. We have the green candle pullback like I've gone over. I'll place my line. You see the initial drive, you get a pullback, place a line. I have a green candle pullback. This here's an explanation for the short. Maybe this will clarify some up if I've confused anybody. This particular chart does have swing levels on it. Initial drive. I have a green candle pullback. This is the same chart that was prior, only going on to where I would have actually been up. The close is below the line. We have a close above the line, and I place the order 1 to 2 ticks below the line for an entry right here. I'll keep this up. You guys might want to take some notes on it. Yes, with your system you could use brackets. Yes, you could. The initial drive, place the line. Once you have a green candle pullback, that's when that line would go in. You have it again here, but no close. Close below the line. Once it closes above the line, I'm ready to go short. This is for the short. For the long setup, the initial drive is to the upside. I have a pullback. I'll place my line in. Once I get the pullback, we're going to continue on here. You have the pullback. Place the line in. Closes above the line. Closes below the line. Place the order 1 to 2 ticks above the line. For automated trade management, the ATM, I don't have a market replay. Actually, let's try it. Do I have time to run that, Dan? I'm going to get ready. I'm on a different computer this morning here. Utilities. John, hi Ted. Where do you place the stop for the London London's trade setup? Okay. On my ATM, it's automatic. So let me pull our ATM strategy up. My ATM. This was pulled off the CL chart. Stop loss is 7 on this. I have several different ATMs that run this. So this particular one here would be a 7. If I'm going to run it, I'd change it to 5. Stop loss, profit target 3. Let me bring the chart down so you can see the running this on a 3 and 5 here. That's not what I want to show you. This right here. This here, there's different ATMs that I have. I have a 10 tick target, 7 tick stop, an old 10 for a 13 that would be used for like NQ, 10 tick target with a 5 tick stop, 10 and a 15 with a 7 tick stop. Here's a 20. All of these strategies have a stop. If it says like an 8 here, that'd be for NQ on that. Bonds and ES would have a 4 and 4. 4 tick target, 4 tick stop. on that. But there's a 3 contracts. Let's see, I don't remember that one. Uh, 2 on the first target and 1 on the second target. So there's a 3 and a 5. You can see there's 5 tick stop. I don't, normally I'm not going to take a full stop of a 5 or a 7, normally. I'm tightening it up. I do want to have just a little bit of breathing room. I do have ATMs with 20, 25, 50, and look at the stop, 4 ticks. I am tight on my stops. Is it good risk management to trade with 3 tick profit and a 5 tick stop? If I'm getting more wins than losses, I don't have a problem with that, Gene. As long as I don't have a problem. Like I say, I very seldom take a full 5 tick stop if I'm running a 5, or I don't take a 7 tick stop if it's out there. I'll tighten it up. Once it goes back, once it starts going into my direction, if it goes to 3 ticks, doesn't fill, I'm going to go to break even. Now you see the ATM here, 20, 25, and 50 with a 4 tick stop. That probably makes more sense to most people, but a 4 tick stop, a lot of you won't even use. I know what market I'm going to do this one on, and what time I'm going to use it. There's a time and place for everything. I have a trade room. I am a scalper. When I'm using this strategy here with the 4 tick stop, that better happen within milliseconds. Otherwise, I don't want the trade. Milliseconds. I'm a scalper. Let me try to get this out of the way. I got market replay coming. Thanks, John. I'll use this same ATM. And I have been having problems with the market replay. Sorry about that. It's not going to work. All right, market replay is not working on it. I'm probably put in the wrong month. Today I'm showing you the basics of the London swing trade, but that's only the beginning. Before you can master this trade, I need to show you more trade examples and teach you the nuances in different markets. There's just not enough time right now to go through all of this. Fortunately, I've captured everything you need to know about trade in short, easy to digest videos that walk you through the trades setup by step by step. Introducing the London Swing on-demand trading video course. The London Swing on-demand trading course is 9 trading modules over the 3.5 hours of instruction. How to trade the London Swing in 4 different markets: CL, GC, NQ, and YM. Those were the markets that I have traded with this, and mostly now I just trade CL and GC. Probably starting the middle of the month, I'll start heading back to NQ and YM. The best setups for each market: minimize risk with automated trade stops and targets. That's using the ATM with NinjaTrader. Sure, other trading platforms have the same thing, something similar to it. Multiple examples of both long and short setups. 3 charts you'll need to set up for your workspace. How to enter and exit and manage the trades. Personalized feedback in my live trading room to get all your questions answered. A 90-day action plan gives you clear direction on how to master the trade. When you register today, you'll get the following 3 exclusive bonuses. Custom London Swing indicator for NinjaTrader. This helps eliminate the guesswork, gives you the highs, draws the highs and lows automatically, and highlights which areas to focus on. This is a $500 value. Bonus 2, how to trade other people's money. Dan had brought that up. Learn how to trade other people's money, OPM, and stop risking your own hard-earned dollars. How to get funded for at least $30,000 of other people's money. Discover our priority rabbit punch strategy, excuse me, for passing the test. That strategy is a little bit like what I do. This will help you get funded, get your test, pass your test, and get funded. With the, once you've passed the first part of the test and you go into your second phase, you stop paying the $150 a month. I really think it's a great deal. It's something that has helped. I just wish it was around when I started. I've taken it. I'll go in several times. I'll start a new one just to keep me up, and I've got other people that I have helped get through the test here, and the strategy here that they're talking about is ATM strategy. It'll help you get to where you're going. This is a $99 value. Introducing the 610 trade. I have talked a little bit in the course here, this webinar on the 610 trade. This is a powerful trade that I use every day. Transitions from pre-market to the post-market area. Learn how to make 10 to 50 ticks per trade in this particular setup. This is a $300 value. So how much is all this worth? I make an average of $155 a day on the London Swing trade with 72% win rate. That's what I net after commissions and losses. That's an extra $775 a week, $3,100 per month on top of my other trades. If I price the system at $1,500, it could pay for itself in about 2 weeks. But I'm not going to ask for $3,100 or even $1,500. When you sign up today, get the London Swing on-demand trading course and all the bonuses for just $197. Register at winvesting.com/swing. I'm so confident that you'll find success with the London Swing. I'm going to take all the risk on me. Backed by my 90-day, 100% no BS action guarantee. Sign up today and check out the entire course. Trade at least 1 day a week over the next 3 months, 90 days, using the strategies taught in the course, starting with $5,000 in real or simulated trading account. After 90 days, if you have not generated at least $1,500 in real or simulated profits, show us the proof you took the action above and get a full 100% refund of your investment in the trading course. If you haven't signed up, maybe this will help. How'd you like to trade with me live every day? Here's the deal. I want to help you succeed, and you'll learn faster if I'm there with you to answer your questions and coach you through the trades. So if you're one of the first 15 traders to sign up, get 3 weeks in my live E-mini insider trading room. Trade live with me Monday through Friday, 8:15 to 10 Eastern Time. See the London Swing trade in action in a live market. Get all your questions answered. There is no auto renew and no strings attached. So you can register at www.winvesting.com/swing. Just 1 or 2 winning days will easily pay for the course itself. But don't delay because the clock is ticking. We've invited over 10,000 traders to this event. I'm only accepting at most 15 new students at this time. The reason is I want to make sure that I can give my personal attention and get your questions answered. I like to have the one-on-one. I do have the capability, and I do like to have people come into the room. I have the ability to open up your mic to have you come in the room and ask your questions that way. And I think it helps out a lot better if you can, if I'm there with you one-on-one. I don't know of any other place that does that. This is not hype. We will cut it off registration after 15. We hit 15. Remember, when you sign up today, you get the 4-hour London Swing on-demand trading course, custom indicators for an Ninja Trader, and the 610 trade course, how to trade other people's money. 3 weeks live in the live trading room. Register now at www.winvesting.com if you haven't already. Thanks, Sam. We start, the official time starts at 8:15. A lot of times I have the room open just prior to 8. I do like to take a, see if there's anything coming up, but the official time does start at 8. We'll trade, look at a little bit of gold for London Swing and do London Swing on CL quite a bit. That's just about every day. No, I don't have the indicator for Thinkorswim. Have any questions here if I have a little more time? I want to thank all those that have stuck around. I hope I wasn't too confusing. It's a trade that I do every day. The only trade I didn't make much today. We had some stuff that came up. I am up $40. That's it. www.winvesting.com/swing. I'll go ahead and type that in for you. Yeah, I think we got that. Hopefully you'll. Yeah. Where are you in vacation? Where are you at? No, I don't use the pound in Forex, but it can be used. 6E is what I use. I use the sixes. I'm starting to look at that again. A few years ago, I traded the sixes, 6E, 6J, 6C quite a bit, and was talking to someone. It was last week. The guy called me up and told me to look at a strategy that he was doing using 6C, and I kind of liked what I seen. Six trades, 50 pips, 500 bucks profit, targets daily. Great. Hey, thanks, James. I've been to all of those.